This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,304. Silver at $15.18. And Bitcoin is trading around $4,009. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, in a victory for consumers and yet another massive blow to Monsanto, a federal jury Wednesday found the company liable for causing a California man's cancer and ordered it to pay $80 million in damages. The jury resoundingly held Monsanto accountable for its 40 years of corporate malfeasance and sent a message to Monsanto that it needs to change the way it does business. Those words come from the legal team of 70-year-old Edwin Hardiman, who was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2015 after using Roundup on his property for more than 2 decades. The anti-media reports that earlier this month, the San Francisco jury ruled that Roundup was a substantial factor in the development of Hardiman's cancer. In its Wednesday ruling, the jury said Monsanto, which was acquired by German pharmaceutical giant Bayer last year, should be held liable for failing to give sufficient warnings about Roundup's cancer risks. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And guess what, Liberty Beat listeners? Right now, you can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Online at snls.news and libertybeat.news. I'm Mick Murrow reporting. Your news now continues. Documents reveal the Saudi-backed government in Yemen granted citizenship to Charlie Hebdo attacker Peter Sharif. Sharif is just one of the dozens of foreigners, mostly former al-Qaeda and ISIS fighters, who have been granted Yemeni citizenship by the coalition-allied Yemeni Passport Authority, under pressure from high-ranking leaders in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. That word comes in a report from Minpress News, with that outlet able to obtain copies of dozens of confidential documents relating to foreigners of different nationalities who have been granted Yemeni citizenship, including Europeans like the 36-year-old French citizen Sharif, who is accused of terrorism, as well as other extremists from the ranks of al-Qaeda and ISIS. According to one of the documents, Sharif, who is accused of helping to organize the terrorist shooting at the Paris headquarters of Charlie Hebdo magazine in 2015, received an official Yemeni identity under the name of Mohammed Ba Mazma from the Riyadh-allied Yemeni government in Aden. The process was facilitated by coalition security authorities. According to Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue, there may be as many as 1 million calves lost in Nebraska due to the catastrophic flooding that has hit the state. Activist Post reports that it's not a rumor, it's not an exaggeration, and it's not based on any sort of speculation. The figure comes directly from the top agriculture official in the entire country, and it means that the economic toll from the recent floods is far greater than most had anticipated. As the months move forward, consumers will start to notice food prices steadily increase. Millions of bushels of wheat, corn, and soybeans have been destroyed by the flooding so far, and thousands of farmers will not be able to plant crops at all this year. And the livestock losses that we have already experienced will be felt for many years to come. The price of beef, which is currently low, is expected to soar. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting with the latest edition of the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Markets went into a frenzy today after the price of money suddenly skyrocketed to $90 a dollar. Onion reporters spoke to economics professor Mark Cosgrave about the soaring cost of U.S. currency and the impact of increasingly unpredictable dollar-to-dollar rates.
Right now, money prices are steeply rising with no signs of slowing down. This morning alone, the price of dollars nearly tripled, with 1 cent worth approximately $6. That's exponentially higher than even a week ago when money was trading at roughly $53 on the dollar. To put it bluntly, we're now in the midst of a national economic crisis.
According to Cosgrave, the abrupt spike in dollar prices initially caused many Americans to hold on to their money, hoping that the $90 cost of dollars would soon dip back down. But as prices continued to climb, investors panicked and began purchasing as much money as possible.
But with the cost of quarters hitting $4.97 and the $5 bill jumping to a 12-year high of $372, the days when you could get $30 or $40 for just a couple of bucks are unfortunately long gone.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and we're here with you like we are every night of the week, every day of the year, 365 days a year. And we're here to talk about liberty. And we are here to take your calls. You can reach us at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we'll have Ian joining us a little bit later. But right now, this is Chris.
And I'm Rich Paul.
And
there's Ian.
And there he is. We knew he'd show up. So how you been, Rich?
I've been good.
I got to say... Free Talk Live periodically puts out little. Is the official name Free Talk Live clips?
They are clips, yeah. You can go to clips.freetalklive.com to find those. They're video clips of the show.
Yeah.
Where are they actually stored? Is it a YouTube list?
They're on a YouTube channel called Liberty Bits, which is run by Eric Freerock. So he's come back out of retirement.
Yeah, I remember Freerock.
Yeah.
The only reason I bring it up is because last Thursday, we had a particularly nice tirade from Rich Paul.
I got off on a rant.
You did get on a little bit of a rant, but it's been a good one. It's been one that I've shared with my friends because this is a topic that needs discussed, and that topic was...
What was I ranting about that night? I've ranted and I've raved and ranted so many rants that, I don't know when they're caught on tape or what.
Well, everything you say here is recorded, but probably
it's
by the government.
I just don't know how many of my rants I go on when I'm on the radio. Literally, whenever somebody says, "Oh, wow, that was a great rant," I have no idea what I said.
What was it about? What was it? What was it? What was I ranting about this time?
Do you remember what I was ranting about?
No, but it was really good. I remember that.
It was a good rant. I remember being proud of that rant, thinking, if
somebody does happen to record that, that'd be a good thing. It was we were talking gun control, and we were talking New Zealand, and we were talking about Republicans, and that was I think the best point there was, Republicans for all their standing up for God and country and that almighty Constitution. They never follow it, number one, and number two, when they're actually put in a position where they could do something good, they don't. And that's the big deal. And I was very happy to hear you call them out on that. And I do too. It's insane that they wouldn't do that. And we're going to go back to that subject just for a little bit because I want to discuss it a little bit because a couple things happened this week. First of all, the bump stock ban went into effect.
Boo!
Which means it's now a federal crime to have certain pieces of plastic that are not guns configured into different shapes and that do different things. So this is the first time. And then today...
Just to explain to people, a bump stock...
A bump stock is a firearm accessory. The idea is that you could replace the stock on your AR-15 with a stock that has a little bit of motion in it. In other words, the stock itself will slide back and forth. And to fire a bump stock.
As the gun's being fired.
As the gun's being fired. So to fire and to take advantage of the bump stock effect, you would squeeze the trigger, and then you still have to hold the trigger as if you had pulled it back. So picture your finger kind of at a 45, 90-degree angle. It has to stay there, and as the stock slides back and forth, it will encounter your finger on the forward stroke, which causes the gun to fire rapidly, as if you were squeezing the trigger really, really, really fast.
So basically, the gun squeezes the trigger for you in a way with the motion from the firing.
Can you achieve?
I mean, you're putting your finger
the
in
motion of the trigger relative to your finger.
The stock is sliding to your fingers and staying in one position.
Yeah, your finger stays in one place, just like a post, and the motion of the trigger past it pulls.
You can do this.
Now, can't you do that with a rubber band?
Yes, and also you can do it by pulling the gun forward. So when I had an AK-47 in the past, I didn't have a rubber band or anything even that fancy. Just stick your finger in the trigger, and just kind of where you're holding the barrel of the gun or whatever, you sort of move that forward, and you continue to like pull it forward as the gun's firing, and then you get the same effect.
Because the recoil
so just gently jerk it with your left hand.
Exactly.
Is that where we're going already? We're barely into the show, and we're going with the double entendres.
Well, when you do it with your left hand, it feels like somebody else is doing it.
Right. That is known as the stranger. we know this, but that's not what we were talking about. Well, who knows what we're talking about?
So they haven't, by banning bump stocks, they have not stopped people from sort of, I don't know how you even describe this, making it seem like an automatic. It's not really. It probably fires a little slower than an automatic. But
and
bump stocks,
also uneven and inaccurate.
Yes, and those I think are the two most important things to remember. That bump stocks make you fire less accurately, and
it's just for the fun of being able to fire a gun, faster than you normally might.
And that's it. It is a novelty.
Yeah.
Now, to you, have you heard bump stocks fire? Have you heard people firing with bump stocks?
Yes.
I have as well. And to my experience, firing with a bump stock gives you a kind of an irregular rhythm to your shots.
Yes.
It's not, because it is a sloppy device, and it depends on how still you hold your finger, right? As your finger moves in and out, the rate of fire is going to change. Even if it's just a couple of millimeters, it's going to be a slightly different thing.
It is a technique
now,
to be able to do that.
The interesting thing is that I watched the video of the Las Vegas massacre, and what I heard was two fully automatic weapons, not bump stocks, but fully automatic weapons firing at the same time. Nobody fires two automatic weapons at the same time. No one person was doing that.
Right.
And it wasn't a bump stock.
So you're going conspiracy theory on that.
I don't know about conspiracy theory. I mean,
you don't buy
my official
story.
Policy is that I don't believe any of the conspiracy theories, including the ones put out by the government. So the 19 hijackers to me is just another conspiracy theory, and I don't believe that either.
Right. I don't know. I know that from what little bits of the coverage I watched, I heard something that sounded like a bump stock in Las Vegas. In other words, what you were discussing, the irregular firing, but you couldn't really tell because the rounds from where they were being recorded live when you were watching it, it was a long ways away. So
it was a long ways away.
Yeah. So I didn't really know. I have a couple buddies online who were quick to point out bump stock, and I just, I don't know if they've been around those sorts of things more than I have. But the point is this is an accessory. This is a toy. This is a novelty.
I sell bullets and bullet accessories.
But the idea that you can take an accessory and call it a machine gun, which is the stretch, that your good Republican president, this staunch defender of the Second Amendment, this is the party of the Second Amendment, that they were okay with outline plastic. That's the part that Just it gets me.
Well, I
irate.
have this to say to Donald Trump for encouraging this madness.
And they were quickly sued by a couple organizations like Gun Owners of America. But unfortunately today, the U.S. Supreme Court rebuffs a bid to block Trump's bump stock ban. From Washington, this comes to us from Reuters. The U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday handed President Donald Trump a victory by rejecting for the second time in 3 days a bid by gun rights activists to block his new ban on, quote, bump stock attachments that enable semi-automatic weapons to fire rapidly. We're going to tear that apart when we come back. 855-450-FREE. What do you think? Is a bump stock such a ridiculous thing you don't even care if it gets banned? Are your rights not important to you? This is Free Talk Live.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISSparis.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, coming to you live. We want to hear you live at 855-450-FREE. We want to know what's on your mind. We've been talking about bump stocks and that great defender of the Second Amendment, Donald Trump.
Boo.
Big time boo. And if there are any Republicans out there, boo to you unless you're up in arms, no pun intended, over your president, the leader of your party, calling for bans on pieces of plastic. This is absolutely absurd.
Wasn't this done administratively, meaning that there was no law that was passed, that he just kind of waved his executive wand? And
He instructed the ATF to change an administrative ruling.
Mm-hmm.
They had made an administrative ruling that bump stocks were not machine guns, and he just told them to reverse it.
Wow.
Repeatedly. Under Bush, they clarified their position on bump stocks. Under Obama. Can I say that one more time? Under Obama. Obama's ATF was fine with silly bump stocks. Now, it's not the point that we've given up something really valuable with the bump stock. You haven't, other than your rights. That's the silliness of this.
People gave up their rights a long time ago.
Of course. But this was another example of Republicans, I'm talking to you Republicans, for kowtowing to your president, kowtowing to the worst gun grabbers, kowtowing to Michael Bloomberg, kowtowing to every crying congressman who's been in the national spotlight talking about dead children. You are culpable. You are pathetic. And I want to hear from you. Defend yourself. That's what I have to say.
And coming back to dead children, there was some discussion, I think it was with you, about this game where they simulate a school shooting. It's like a first-person shooter, and the person playing it can go through the school and shoot people. See, a lot of people think they should take that off the market, but I was thinking about it. I don't think they should take it off the market. I just think they should add a mode where everybody has a gun.
It would be
see how long you last. If you can play this game, it's like, trying to stay on the worst Bronco at the rodeo.
12 seconds, an all-time record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it would be. This idea that the presidents have some sanction through the Constitution, through our legal system, to randomly ban things or to and completely ignore Congress.
Well,
Congress
unless someone tells him he can't, then he can't.
Right. But in this case, there was the legislative branch wasn't represented here. There was no vote. There was none of that.
There was also no, move the legislature did against him, right? Like they didn't stop him. They didn't come in and say, whoa, you can't do that.
Well, they can't other than taking him to court. That's the thing, so do they sue? I'd love to see it. Great idea, and I'm all for it. Sue the president. 855-450-FREE. And we are going to hop to the phones because
where's the NRA with this? I mean, did they do anything? I mean, they're
buckled
useless.
on it, didn't they?
I think they did.
I'm
not surprised.
They said it's okay. He's a Republican.
Yeah.
But how many times have they supported anti-gun Republicans over pro-gun libertarians?
Right.
At the NRA, you can be a complete gun grabber, and if you've got an R after your name, you're going to get that NRA endorsement.
Yeah, you'll get the A grade, and it's absolutely silly. This was a case of, and I'm going to paraphrase, but basically they said, You got to pick your battles. You can't fight everything. So, we don't really care that much about bump stocks. So, okay, if you want to go ban those, great. So what do you ban next? Just ban anything that's semi-automatic, because it's not that big a stretch. You've banned things that could sound like they're automatic with a piece of plastic novelty attached to them. So let's just go ahead and ban anything that's semi-automatic. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Brody in Utah. Brody, you are on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I just wanted to call and talk about the Starch solution by Dr. John McDougall again.
The what solution?
You asked me a question last.
Which solution?
It's called the Starch solution by Dr. John McDougall.
Okay, this has to do with the diet. I remember this.
It's not really a diet; it's a way of eating. But you guys asked me a question last week, and I wasn't really prepared for it. Just why it's better than all the other books out there about the right way to eat, the right foods to eat. And so I just wanted to give that quick response. I kind of went off on a tangent.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason it's the best is because it's the healthiest, it's the easiest, the cheapest, the cleanest, it's delicious, satisfying. And
okay, so what is this? I'm sorry.
Could you vague that up
he called
for us for a little bit?
He's used lots of words.
What makes it?
He talked about
what is it?
The
what
healthiest?
Are we talking about?
It's starch.
It's a diet he called in and talked about.
Right, but what is it?
I don't know.
We didn't know after the end of that, but now we know it's delicious. What other words did you use, Brody?
It's mom and apple pie. That's all very good and all very vague, but what is on this diet?
Give us an example.
Again, it's not a diet; it's a way to eat, but it's really what it is. It's the starch solution. So it's eating a lot of starchy foods: potatoes, rice, beans, just whatever, wheat bread, wheat pasta.
Okay, we have the ingredient
list. What about
list.
fat and protein? We a lot of carbs. How much fat and protein?
And it's low fat, so no oils, no meat, no dairy, and really very little, not a whole lot of nuts or avocados, not a lot of fatty plants.
Yeah.
Again, it's starch based, and you add vegetables.
So it's like Antifa.
There you go. Hey, if you could recommend one book or one cookbook for this diet, what would it be? Just one.
Well, the starch solution has recipes in it.
Okay, but that's a good one.
So I mean,
that's a good start if people are interested in that. So thank you for your call. And I'm
a low carb guy, so that ain't gonna happen with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's what it seems to be the case that people seem to swear by different diets. So I wouldn't ever believe somebody who would say this is the one for everyone. Come on,
it works for
good
everyone.
Point there.
It's keto.
Each person has their own needs and their own tastes.
Yeah, and I think the diet is going to be somewhat personalized because everybody's different. How about that? 855-450 free.
I'm glad it worked for him.
Yeah, I am
Great.
too. If you'd like to join in our conversation, we're going to bounce around here. And let me see.
You think he's getting paid to make those calls?
I don't know.
It seemed a little bit professional and... The answer that he came back with sounded like something that came out of the corporate slogan room. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I wouldn't either.
Well, I'd like to.
But we don't know.
I'd like to let him know we do offer advertising. So if he calls about it again, I'm going to call that advertising. So he ought to buy some ads.
855-450 free. When we return, we will probably not be talking about starchy diets, but we want to hear from you and what's on your mind. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp, is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've been talking bump stock bans. We've been talking Supreme Court actions. The Supreme Court actually had the opportunity to hear a case against this complete lack of justice and reverse it. But they did not. They backed up Trump. So there you go. I've been calling out Republicans.
Well, they wouldn't want to take away the power from the government to be able to just arbitrarily ban any kind of product.
God forbid
that they want to. I mean, did somebody think this was a free country or something? I mean,
some people do.
You think you're free to own plastic devices in the United States? You're crazy.
Ian, it talks all about this in the Constitution, and everybody knows that the Constitution, it's the supreme law of the land. It's the one law that everybody has to follow, and there are no bigger champions than the Republicans.
Well, the Constitution is the supposed law the government's supposed to follow. You and I didn't sign it, so we're not obligated to it.
Exactly.
We didn't swear an oath. Well, you might have sworn an oath when you were in the military.
I've sworn oaths multiple times.
Yeah.
To protect and defend the Constitution.
Nor will I.
I would not expect you to.
Yeah.
The problem is that people play lip service to it, and those people are called politicians. And
the judges whose job it is to interpret the words on the document so they can just interpret them whatever's politically feasible.
Yeah, and whatever works best for them and whatever they feel is right. So it's judicial activism. Sadly, in this case, it's coming from who we would expect, normally we would expect to defend the Second Amendment.
And who would that be?
Traditionally, in modern times, it has been Republicans. They put up the most roadblocks to the efforts to grab guns. But again, and I say again because it's not the first time they caved. They cave because it feels politically expedient. They feel that, my voters might get angry with me. We're going to go to Matthew in Louisiana who wants to talk about bump stock bans. Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it.
Well, I'm glad. Are you a Republican?
Well, I'm a registered Republican.
Okay.
All that means is that I registered as a Republican. I am not, in fact, a member of the Republican Party.
You're not a card-carrying member. Okay, fair enough.
Right. They do not issue cards unless you are a member of the party. But there are Republicans who do not like our Second Amendment, such as I would point out Lindsey Grahamnesty. I would also point out Little Marco. And I am not Little Marco.
I don't know who that is.
Little Marco Rubio.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that. Okay.
Is that guy from Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a guy from Florida. He's got issues. So he's happy about the bump stock ban. Also, there's a guy who's supposed to be the champion of conservatism called Rush Limbaugh. He's happy about the bump stock ban.
Is he? Is he really? That's surprising to me, only because I know so little about where Rush is these days.
Imagine if AOC had proposed it instead of Trump.
Well, it might have actually gotten some news coverage then, but, you know, aside from Fox News rubbing it in, ha, 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 the bump stock ban still stands. Well, it doesn't per se still stand. They just refuse to grant an emergency injunction against the enforcement of it. So the lawsuits actually go on, but who knows, you know. But I've tried to alert everybody to the dangers of this. But then my view of the Second Amendment apparently is in the minority.
Right.
Because I tend to look at the Second Amendment and I say, okay, this tells me I can own anything the military owns. Okay, I'm willing to compromise. I don't need a nuke.
Okay.
But hey, if I wanted a tank, why can't I get one of those?
Yeah, and that's the problem is the proverbial slippery slope, that if you let government take one little thing, just this one little bump stock, then you've got nothing to worry about. But this is how we've gotten to where we are. You can take anything. You can talk about First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, and things like that. Well, you know, it's only if you're in a theater and you yell fire. Well, we have to infringe on your rights a little bit there, but that's only that one example. But you're going to find out more, and the next thing you know, you look around.
What if it's something that corrupts the minds of the children?
Right.
You've got to think about the children.
And
their minds might get corrupted.
Is the ultimate slippery slope, because anything that you consider false or misleading can be said to mislead the minds of the children. So, you know,
or even the truth can corrupt the minds of the children.
Say again?
Even the truth can corrupt the minds of the children, you know?
Well,
yeah, well, so they say.
I'm not sure I've ever heard the truth alleged to be a corrupting influence, but...
Well, when you think about nudity, that's just truth. It's what the human body truly looks like. And yet there are people who think that, if their boy sees a boob at age 5 or 6, that he's going to be scarred forever. Oh, God, he saw a boob. And
I would say those people are corrupted.
I got to tell you, though, you got to watch out, because I have it under good authority that masturbation causes deafness.
Who'd you hear that
I
from?
didn't hear that.
What, are you deaf or something?
Too good. Thank you for the call, Matthew. But yeah, it's everything is a slippery slope when it comes to your liberty, because there only is one acceptable path, and that is basically follow the ideas of a non-aggression principle, that if I am not doing anything that hurts anyone else, and I shouldn't
using a bump stock.
When I shouldn't be doing anything that hurts anyone else, then I should be free to do what I wish to do. And it's golden rule stuff, folks.
Yeah,
this
golden
goes back
rule
to,
and also Darwinism. I mean, there are people who, if left to their own devices, will do really stupid things, and a lot of those people will die if they are free to do those stupid things. Well, the thing is, it's better for the species as a whole if the stupid people die of doing stupid things before they breed.
Absolutely. We're going to go back to the phones where we've got Dave in New Hampshire. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
I'm working on it. I'm on my way. Okay.
So be Dave Ridley from the RidleyReport.com.
I have some, enough of this depressing imperial news. I have some national news for you. And my nation is New Hampshire.
Yeah? Okay.
So the former president of the Free State Project, Carla Garrick, is reporting that 6 state reps now, or 6 legislators at the New Hampshire State House, have invoked the following quote in speeches or other things they've said at the State House. The quote is, "Taxation is theft," unquote.
Hear, hear.
We're all big fans of that particular quote.
It's good to see a social media meme infecting a legislature. That's a good sign. And then another good sign is that apparently it has there's a little bit of a letter to the editor war going on around this, because some of these reps have been attacked verbally by other reps for having said this.
Oh, of course. I've said this in front of my state rep, and I live on the in the western part of New Hampshire, a very low population area, and I dared say that at an event, and man, they know it. They're triggered by it. This happened to be a Democrat, but he was triggered by this thought of taxation is theft. Oh my God, how dare you, Dave? Thank you so much for the call.
I think he's pointing that out because it's New Hampshire. This probably doesn't happen in a lot of state legislatures. We got a kind of a special thing here, and that's why libertarians are migrating here.
But we'll discuss that, and we'll discuss whatever is on your mind at 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Ew, get the stinky dog away from me. Bad breath and bad gas. PD stopped eating. All his hair fell out.
Itching, licking, missing fur.
At least $5,000 in vet bill. Creams, antibiotics, sprays.
No results.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com. If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy. The omega-3 fatty acids. Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa. The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. Dinovite is nutrition.
The shedding is stopped and the itching is stopped.
Her coat is now soft, it's silky, it's healthy and shiny and glossy.
She's got life. She's got energy.
Tons of energy, no more bad smells.
Dinovite's the bomb.
Dinovite is the best thing that's ever happened to my dogs, besides me, of course.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
450 free.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's 855-450-3733. You can also catch us on Discord. You can go to discord.lrn.fm and find out all about that and how to connect to us. But the long and the short of it is, with your PC, with your smart device, you can load up the Discord client, connect with us, and you will sound just like you are in the studio with us. And by gosh, what could be more exciting than that, Rich? I just don't know what.
Well, if she was in the studio with us and she was pretty and she was sitting on my lap, that would be more exciting. Better, yeah.
See, now here we go again. Well, this is.
I'm a bad man. This is a sick world, and I'm a happy guy.
I was just thinking, we're gonna have to start calling this double entendre Thursdays, which works for me. I'm good with that, and I always have fun. But we are gonna go to Discord so you can see and hear what this sounds like.
You probably won't be able to see it.
I know that. Yeah. But you can go to twitch.lrn.fm and you can see.
And if you're seeing sounds, you may be under you may be underneath some psychedelic drugs.
See figuratively, like see as in we're going to see what happens. But no, but we'll talk them. Well, never mind.
Talk them? That sounds like peyote.
Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Thank you, Chris, Ian, and Rich. Thank you. I wanted to just ask, I have a request for all of us Liberty folk. That we're talking all the time, so when we bring stuff up, we have an opportunity to announce things. And one of the things that I think ought to be announced, I think this is segues from the couple of calls back, or some talk with you guys, Ian and Chris, about the Constitution. We all agree that the limits of the Constitution have been basically tossed aside and ignored, and nobody's honoring those limitations, and as a result, we have humongous government.
The Constitution has either authorized such government as we have had, or it has been powerless to prevent it. In either case, it is unfit to exist. Lysander Spooner.
Did you nail that? Was that all by memory, Rich? That was good.
Better believe
Lysander Spooner. Google
better
that,
than
folks.
After all the smoke he's imbibed, but that's another story.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying.
Rich. Just want you to know. I'm proud. I'm proud and honored by you. So don't feel bad.
Well, groovy. Thanks.
It's me at 67 that has the problems here. But
the funny thing is, I'm just as spacey when I don't smoke weed. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, so basically, when things come up like these bunk stock bans, even talking about sawed-off shotguns, suppressors, or all of those things ought be rolled into the uninfringible realm of the Second Amendment, not to mention eliminating about 95% of federal law and so many other things. But just focus.
We're talking about, when we talk about bump stock bans, we're actually, and the allegation by Trump is that this piece of plastic magically turns a semi-automatic rifle into a fully automatic machine gun. And that's just farcical.
But even if it did, and this is what bothers me, we have a right to have a fully automatic machine gun. We don't just have a right to an AR-15. We have a right to an M16.
Thank you.
And that's what the Republicans should have reestablished when they had control of the whole thing. The whole shooting match, if you will, was under their control, and they did nothing.
Gun Control Act
let me tell you this.
1968, Rich, would you keep it?
Huh?
If you were a Republican, should you have kept the was it the Fire Act?
Every single gun control law on the books is unconstitutional.
So there goes
it
the
is
1968
each and every
laws.
one is an infringement. It shaves a piece off your Second Amendment rights, and that's exactly what the Second Amendment supposedly guarantees that they won't
do. No, we had all those gangsters.
There goes the ATF.
Yeah, well, how did they create the gangs? They created the gangs by creating prohibition. They didn't have a gang problem in America before they had prohibition.
Also unconstitutional, which is why they amended the Constitution in order to be able to do it.
That's the thing. The way that prohibition was better than the drug war is prohibition was constitutional because they amended the Constitution to support it. The drug war has no such amendment. They have ignored the Constitution to implement that, and that is an evil thing. But
it's still evil if they It's still evil if they amend the Constitution, because they are still taking away your right to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And if the pursuit of happiness and liberty includes you wanting to get wasted or just have a couple of beers or a couple of glasses of wine, you should be able to do that, regardless if 525 people or 35 or however many of them there are say you shouldn't be able to.
Now, here's a question I want America to start to ask itself, though. If and when we get a New Zealand-style semi-automatic rifle ban, is that time to take them out of mothballs and start doing something about it? At what point does rhetoric end and resistance begin? That's the question we need to ask ourselves.
So to put this all in historical perspective, gun control acts, bad gun controls began in 1934, Firearms Act. That was the worst one.
They began before that. In postbellum, in the postbellum South, they were implemented by the KKK. But
let me rephrase that. Our modern times.
But there are some terrible ones passed in 1934. I know what you're talking about.
1968. Then we enacted a whole bunch of more laws. We have not had big, horrendous laws since 1968, and I'm just feeling that it's about time, right? That's where the liberals, that's where the gun grabbers believe we are. We haven't done this. We tried a little assault weapons ban, but let's just go whole hog. Let's what's the next big step? And to your point, Rich, the time to pull those out of mothballs was in 1934.
Well, I would agree with that. And when you think about it, what was going on in 1934 was the country was in revolution. They were in a revolutionary state where the majority of the people, or at least a very large minority of people, were ignoring the law, ignoring prohibition, and they were defending themselves, among other things, from police.
Yeah, there was a lot going on, and I'm trying to think of, what was it? What was the activity that involved Smedley Butler?
Smedley Butler was World War I. World is a Racket. He was a highly decorated Marine, wrote a book.
Right, but there was also an effort.
Or the bonus army?
There was an effort underway in the 30s to foment revolution and to overthrow the U.S. government.
Oh, and you're talking about the other group of fascists that tried to overthrow the group of fascists run by FDR.
Exactly.
So Smedley Butler was involved with a potential overthrow?
He was asked to lead it, according to Smedley Butler, and he declined.
He not only declined, he spilled the beans.
He did.
That's how we came to know about it.
Yeah, and we're gonna Google a little bit about that, and we'll talk about that because it's a topic that I kind of came across over the weekend. I read up on it a little bit, and I thought it was kind of interesting. But I haven't heard anybody really defending the bump stock ban. I guess
phones are open. 855-450-FREE is the number.
Yeah.
855-450-3733.
And
they must exist.
They must. We've got another call here. We're gonna go to. Sorry about that. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I just want to mention that it was announced that, Mother Teresa and Padre Pio, they're both ascended masters now.
An ascended master?
So,
what is that?
I am boggled.
In other words, they got good enough where they graduated out of school's earth room. In other words, they no longer have
schooled earth room? The what?
Well, in other words,
wow.
And who decides? Who decides whether Mother Teresa has become an ascended master? And how did you get the notice? You don't even have the internet.
I know. How
was
do you
this the same Catholic Church that facilitated the abuse of children that decided this?
Well, the Summit Lighthouse, it was about...
Hang on to her. I want to know more about Ascended Master.
You want us
and
to
how she
hold
knows.
Sarah over you can
on.
find out the truth about the Ascended Master. All right, we're going to hold you over.
I'm Andy Snyder, author of the hit new book, Nature's Miracles. I just released the stunning details of a simple 30-second natural cure to things like erectile dysfunction, high blood pressure, joint pain, and possibly even cancer. In a word, this cure works. And it's all because of new evidence that proves things like ED are not just another case of bad luck. No, they're caused by our modern diet. And here's the stunning part. I found you don't need to change your diet if you want to beat these ailments. You simply need to add something to it. I recently published the recipe for the perfect drink, and for a limited time, I'm giving it away for free at perfectdrinkrecipe.com. The 3 cheap, all-natural ingredients found in this delicious drink can help fight some of this country's top killers. Doctors are stunned, and you'll love the results. All the details of the perfect drink are at my website. Just go to perfectdrinkrecipe.com. Again, that's perfectdrinkrecipe.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,304, silver at $15.18, and Bitcoin is trading around $4,009. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, in a victory for consumers and yet another massive blow to Monsanto, a federal jury Wednesday found the company liable for causing a California man's cancer and ordered it to pay $80 million in damages. The jury resoundingly held Monsanto accountable for its 40 years of corporate malfeasance and sent a message to Monsanto that it needs to change the way it does business. Those words come from the legal team of 70-year-old Edwin Hardiman, who was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2015 after using Roundup on his property for more than 2 decades. The anti-media reports that earlier this month, the San Francisco jury ruled that Roundup was a substantial factor in the development of Hardiman's cancer. In its Wednesday ruling, the jury said Monsanto, which was acquired by German pharmaceutical giant Bayer last year, should be held liable for failing to give sufficient warnings about Roundup's cancer risks. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And guess what, Liberty Beat listeners? Right now, you can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Online at snls.news and libertybeat.news. I'm Mick Murrow reporting. Your news now continues. Documents reveal the Saudi-backed government in Yemen granted citizenship to Charlie Hebdo attacker Peter Sharif. Sharif is just one of the dozens of foreigners, mostly former al-Qaeda and ISIS fighters, who have been granted Yemeni citizenship by the coalition-allied Yemeni Passport Authority, under pressure from high-ranking leaders in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. That word comes in a report from Minpress News, with that outlet able to obtain copies of dozens of confidential documents relating to foreigners of different nationalities who have been granted Yemeni citizenship, including Europeans like the 36-year-old French citizen Sharif, who is accused of terrorism, as well as other extremists from the ranks of al-Qaeda and ISIS. According to one of the documents, Sharif, who is accused of helping to organize the terrorist shooting at the Paris headquarters of Charlie Hebdo magazine in 2015, received an official Yemeni identity under the name of Mohammed Ba Mazma from the Riyadh-allied Yemeni government in Aden. The process was facilitated by coalition security authorities. According to Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue, there may be as many as 1 million calves lost in Nebraska due to the catastrophic flooding that has hit the state. Activist Post reports that it's not a rumor, it's not an exaggeration, and it's not based on any sort of speculation. The figure comes directly from the top agriculture official in the entire country. And it means that the economic toll from the recent floods is far greater than most had anticipated. As the months move forward, consumers will start to notice food prices steadily increase. Millions of bushels of wheat, corn, and soybeans have been destroyed by the flooding so far, and thousands of farmers will not be able to plant crops at all this year. And the livestock losses that we have already experienced will be felt for many years to come. The price of beef, which is currently low, is expected to soar. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting with the latest edition of the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A man thanks God he's not sexually attracted to children, and Popeye's home is burglarized. Week in and week out, you come back like a housebroken Pomeranian, loyal to the bitter end. Good boy. This is the Onion Week in Review. Georgia's Cobb County Evangelical Hospital held its 5th annual Walk to Cure Gayness today, reportedly drawing thousands of participants to raise funds that would cure sufferers of their homosexuality and make gayness a thing of the past. Hospital administrators told reporters that funding from the walk would go into providing new state-of-the-art gayness treatment equipment, along with remodeling the hospital's physical therapy center, which has spent nearly 14 years reteaching gay men how to walk properly.
Oh God, I was a goner. But as you can see, I'm now happily married to a woman, and as of next month, I will have been in full remission for 2 whole years. I'm just so very, very happy. Everything's really good in my life.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live for an hour number 2. Every night we do 3 hours. Rain, sleet, snow, doesn't matter. Holidays, we love them. 855 450 free. We've been talking about bump stocks. We've been talking about the Second Amendment. We've been talking about Republicans who always talk about how they're here to defend our Second Amendment rights.
Talk is cheap, though.
Oh, we should give some time to libertarians who really defend our Second Amendment rights, then.
And that's a good point. Yes, there are groups out there that actually do consider the right of self-defense, and that's what we're talking about. It's the right, if you believe that you own your body, if you believe that you have a right to defend yourself and your loved ones and your property against threats, then this ceases to become a political issue. It becomes a natural rights issue, and that's how it should be considered.
And it is a natural rights issue, and let me say that I've seen a meme going around the internet that says, what if black people's voting rights were protected the same way white people's right to own guns were protected? Well, it's not just white people who have a right to own guns.
Right.
Every minority group is at increased risk of assault statistically in every society just by virtue of being a minority. And therefore, if you are a minority, arming yourself is a great plan.
We looked it up within the last month or so on Free Talk Live, and actually a significant portion of blacks are armed. In fact, I think it was about 1 out of 4.
Good for them.
Right.
And good for the Huey Newton Gun Club and all the Black Guns Matter and all of the other people, because it's not the danger of our situation is that the liberals are disarmed and the conservatives are armed. So if the conservatives did decide to go after the liberals, what are the liberals going to do? Beg?
Call the police.
Right.
Yeah, call the police. That'll help. The police are conservatives.
But I'm going to beg that we get back to this call because Sarah left us with a cliffhanger. She alleged that Mother Teresa...
Storms are brewing in your eyes, Sarah.
If the police are conservatives, Rich, then the fact that they're enforcing gun laws left and right proves that conservatives don't care about firearms freedoms.
They don't. Yeah. They just care about slowing change.
They do. But we're going to get back to the phones and speak again to Sarah, because she has told us, we don't know how she's found this out, that Mother Teresa has ascended.
And somebody else you named, right? Who was the other person, Sarah?
Yes, and the Padre Pio, he was an Italian father in Italy. And he was the one that, remember, he had like piercing in his, miraculous piercing in his hands and his feet.
No, I never heard of him.
And then they dug him up, and then he had a piercing in his heart. He had 5
So you're saying this father, these two Catholics have been ascended to mastery.
Well, let's start with one thing. What's your source on this?
That's what I was going to ask.
Did God come down and whisper it in your ear, sweetheart?
No, Elizabeth Clare Prophet from the Summit Lighthouse. She had a revolution, she had a
revolution. Revelation?
Revelation, maybe?
It was told to her from the spirit world that they both ascended.
Now, how did you... Okay, so now we're talking about hearsay passing through hearsay, right? So you're saying this woman has...
So some guy said so.
Yeah, you're saying this woman has said that she was told that these two individuals are ascended masters. So how did you hear? Do you know this woman personally? Are you subscribing to her newsletter? Because we know from your previous calls you don't have internet access. You're obviously not getting emails from her. So how did you get the press release?
Oh, the thing, I used to go to that church here on Carlisle,
What church?
I used to listen to her.
What was it called?
But the Summit Lighthouse, they had a little...
The Son of Lighthouse?
The Summit Lighthouse.
Oh, the Summit.
And,
okay.
The Summit Lighthouse, and then I believe in what she says. Her husband has ascended, Mr. Prophet. He has ascended. He's ascended.
You are reminding me so much of Robert Heinlein's Stranger in a Strange Land, where they had this church, okay?
Right.
And it was called the Fosterite Church, okay?
I don't recall the name. Okay, go ahead.
Well, the Fosterites would get their members to sign over their entire inheritance to the church, and then when they needed some money, they'd announce that this member was going to heaven. It was going to be a big old miracle, and they slipped something into their drink, and dead they were, and that inheritance went right where it was needed by Jesus.
Sarah, thank you for the call.
The Summit Lighthouse is a nonprofit organization, the official source for teachings of the Ascended Masters from Mark L. Prophet, Prophet, and Elizabeth Clare Prophet and their students.
This is checking out left and right.
Now is he an estimated prophet or I assert that?
Do you think he was
I've
born
seen
with that name,
correct?
or did he choose it for himself?
You're asking me.
Maybe he inherited the gift of sight from his mother.
I'm sorry, you're both talking it.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm just saying, if you're asking me to take a guess on a Sarah call, I've got nothing. I will never have anything other than to try to survive to the end of the call and with my mind intact.
Here's a little bit of their principles from their website, summitlghouseabq.org. The fundamental principles of the teachings of the Ascended Masters is that all sons and daughters of God have a divine spark that is their potential to realize the universal Christ within and ascend to God as Jesus did. The concept is at the heart of all major religions, they claim. The Ascended Masters are all a part of the Great White Brotherhood, which they have an asterisk.
I don't like the sound of that.
Say that again.
There's an asterisk next to that says, next to the asterisk, the term white refers not to race, but to the aura of white light that surrounds these immortals.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that, guys. Continue.
Spoken of in Revelation 7 is the great multitude of saints clothed with white robes who stand before the throne of God. The Brotherhood works with earnest seekers and public servants of every race, religion, and walk of life to assist humanity in their forward evolution. So there you go. So this woman apparently can channel who the Ascended Masters are, and Sarah believes every last word of it.
Well, Gia wants to talk about transphobia. Gia from San Francisco, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, hello again. scum, and I love your misogyny towards Sarah and your racism for her being a Latino woman. You should show some respect.
Is she Latino? I thought she was Asian.
She lives in New Mexico, and you're constantly misogynist.
Oh, Jesus, I was giving her completely the wrong racism. I was giving her Asian racism, and I was supposed to be giving her Latino racism.
Wait a
God,
minute.
Are
you assuming, Gia, that she's Latino simply because she's calling from New Mexico?
Latina, and she might be a person of color. Not that you would care, Ian Monster Freeman. No wonder the buttholes in the FBI are investigating you constantly.
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm a person of transparency. I have no color.
You're not a
person. If you frighten me, I'll fade into the walls like a chameleon.
You are not a person.
I am a person of colorlessness. Did you just assume my species?
Listen, guys. Okay, I want to talk about really quickly. I want to talk about something regarding Jazz Jennings, and I have a very quick little poem.
Did you say Jazz Jennings?
Okay? Jazz Jennings. Have you heard of her?
I have not. Who is this person?
Okay, she's a young trans woman. I don't think she's even 18. She got famous 10 years ago when Barbara Walters interviewed her. But
when
now
she was like 8?
She's like a teenager. Huh?
When she was like 8?
We're just doing
the math.
Well, yeah, like 11.
Okay. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to understand the story.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not like some big news thing, but I just wanted to say that I was looking up her videos recently, and these disgusting Nazis, like that piece of dog feces, Christopher Cantwell, and his supporters and all these scumbags were laughing at her not too long ago because she had this, she had bottom surgery, watching my language, and she had bottom surgery.
Bottom surgery?
Really
is that where you have surgery on your butt, or is it something else?
No, that's bottom surgery for a transsexual means changing the actual genitalia.
Oh, okay.
Gia,
as opposed to
top
surgery.
I still don't understand it.
This
Top
is an evening of not
I'll draw you a
understanding,
picture
but
during break.
855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. convictions. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. We've been all over the board. We've been talking bump stocks. We've been talking the ascension of Mother Teresa because a caller wanted to talk about it, and we are a 100% call-in show. If you've got a topic and we find it, we'll entertain it.
And it's not unbelievable that Mother Teresa would get high on religion. It is, according to Karl Marx at least, the opiate of the massive. Or the masses. I guess food is the opiate of the massive.
There you go. In studio tonight, it's myself, Chris.
I'm Ian.
And Rich Paul.
And we've been having some fun. But before we move any further, I do want to tell you about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is your premier source for everything Bitcoin related. Bitcoin.com can help you choose a Bitcoin wallet, buy Bitcoin, and show you where you can spend your Bitcoin. You can read the latest news and engage with the community in the Bitcoin forum. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. And there's
The Guardian says you shouldn't buy Bitcoin, though.
God forbid.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, who are they guarding?
Good question.
We will, but first we're going to go to the phones where we've got Kirby from Indianapolis. He wants to talk about guns. Kirby, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
first of all, bump stocks are a waste of ammunition.
Thank
if you
you.
want to buy one, go right ahead. Secondly, I'm 58 years old, black. I have a bullet lodged in my head that I received in November of 92.
Oh, my.
I have no problem with guns. I ain't mad at guns or the bullet. Just the idiot that shot me.
Wow.
Amen.
People can get as angry as they want to and throw out all the hyperbole they want to, but guns are inanimate objects. They don't kill people. People do.
You know, when you got a guy with a bullet lodged in his brain who's in favor of gun rights, I mean, you are on the... God has blessed you, man. Thanks for thanks for taking that position, even after what happened. Do you want to tell the story, like how you ended up with a bullet in your brain? Because that's got to be pretty crazy.
Actually, it's pretty simple. Crackhead tried to rob me, and I didn't feel like giving him my money.
Yep.
Wow.
And I told him to get it like Jesse. He still attempted to get it, but what he got was no money and almost said a word.
Yeah.
Ran the heck out of Indiana. But I'm also a firearms instructor.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Guns are not the problem. People are the problem. You look at every one of our gun control laws, all but one, being the 1934 Firearms Act, were aimed at keeping poor people disarmed regardless of what color they were.
Sure.
You look at every totalitarian state, they had to disarm the public in order to control them, which is why the Second Amendment is in the Constitution.
And
I fully go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I thought you were.
I will fully admit that black people were not included in that Constitution.
Right.
And in fact, if you go back, as I said, and look at the slave codes, which was actually our first gun control law.
Right.
They were all aimed at poor and black people. 1968 Firearms Act was a direct result of the Black Panther Party showing up at the Capitol building in California.
Oh yeah,
with a boatload of guns.
Yeah, you can't have armed black people. It's bad enough that
that's
we're
horrible.
We'll support them because it's politically expedient for the Democratic Party to be on the side of civil rights after supporting slavery for so long. But then then seeing that, there's a group of black people out there that believe that they have inalienable rights. What are we to make of that? Quick.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the biggest problem is that black people won't embrace their rights. They'll cry about not getting reparations or this or that or the other, but they will not embrace the rights that they absolutely have.
Well, 1 out of 4 of them, according to statistics,
from a government, they come from God.
Right.
I mean, it may be, obviously, you have more experience with that community probably than any of the three of us in the studio here, but the statistics show 1 out of 4 blacks do have a gun, and that's a little lower than whites, but not that much. I think it was like 30-something% of whites that have guns, and I think it was only like 17% of Hispanics or something.
Now, do you know anything about the methodology of that story and how many of them were
I don't recall.
legal?
Because it was a Pew Research.
One thing, I had an interesting experience. I lived in a neighborhood in North Charleston, South Carolina, that was something like 95% black. And it was interesting because I lived there the night that Obama was elected, and I saw the rejoicing. But I got pulled over one night just as I was pulling into the complex. So I pulled into my parking space before I dealt with the cop. And I got out, and he took my concealed piece while he was talking to me, and then when he was done, he gave me my piece back, and I reloaded it and reholstered it and went back in the house. The next day, I came outside. My neighbor happened to be outside, and she said, "Are you a cop?" And I said, "No. Why do you ask that?" And she said, "Because I saw that cop take your gun from you and give it back." And I said, "No, anybody who isn't a felon has a right to keep and bear arms, and I happen to have a concealed weapons permit. That's all you need in that state." But she was astounded.
I was in the cell phone store a few days ago, and I open carry quite a bit. And a young black guy behind me goes, "Hey, man, are you a cop?" I was like, "No, why?" He's like, "Man, you got a gun out in the open." I was like, "Dude, I got a permit." He's like, "You can actually get a permit to carry a gun and you're black?"
Yeah.
Honestly, he did not know.
Wow. People don't know their rights. They're never told their rights. I mean, generally in the government schools, they might go over a brief summary of,
They talk about First Amendment,
speech.
Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Eighth Amendment.
They don't talk that much about
it.
They don't talk that much. Maybe they did when you were in school.
Not that much, but they talked a little bit. The place that talked about the Second Amendment was when I was in a military academy. And the way they put it to me was, from a military point of view, they are allowed to keep their weapons so that they can shoot us if we get out of hand.
And the two that they miss, right? And the two that they miss that I think are the most important, the 9th and the 10th. The 9th and the 10th are catch-alls. If just because we didn't grant a power to the government to do something means that it's reserved for you, the individual.
Or to put it in Constitution speak, the enumeration in this Constitution of certain rights shall not be held to deny or disparage others retained by the people.
There's number 9, and number 10 says that anything not enumerated is going to be up to, if there's going to be any laws about it, it's going to be up to the states or the right remains with the people.
I want to say thanks to Kirby for doing
I can't do that.
Open carry, by the way, for doing that.
Yes.
Because it's important, because what you've done is you put on display your exercise of your rights, and that created a conversation, and it gets people thinking. So kudos.
Yep. Thanks for the call, Kirby.
Are you going to stick around?
Oh, do you
We're
want
all
Carrie?
sticking around.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for the call, Kirby. I definitely appreciate it.
And, yeah, it's a good conversation. I love to hear when people are not afraid to stand up for their rights and demonstrate those rights. 855-450-FREE. What do you think about gun control? This is Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
In a dramatic scene last night, a coalition of the nation's damaged women staged a drunken, tear-soaked march on the Capitol just after 2 a.m. Jane Carmichael has more.
Thank you, Brooke. The damaged women began their protest yesterday afternoon, marching on the National Mall at about 4 p.m., and then marching away furious, saying they were done with Congress once and for all. But then they came back again late last night, insisting that someone in Washington listen to them for once. The late-night protests started with tearful apologies, but quickly moved to anger as marchers demanded that Congress pass a bill making it illegal to say you love someone and then up and leave as soon as there's one little problem.
Why are you ignoring us? Stop ignoring us! Why don't you hear me when I talk to you? Wipe the smirk off of your face. No, come back! Come back, because we think that we want you to care about us!
I don't need to pay a therapist to tell me I'm unhappy! I know I'm unhappy!
This is the Onion News Network.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733 and 377-3733. Just losing it tonight, Ian. In studio, you have myself, Chris.
Yeah, it's Ian.
Pope Indigent the First.
Pope Indigent the First. The name being assumed by Rich Paul.
It's true.
That's his name
was
on
the name granted to you. I have seen him.
He's on the Discord under that name.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I think I leave out the first.
Yeah, it's
just
Pope Indigent.
Pope Indigent.
Pope Indigent.
And speaking of Discord, you can use Discord to call into the show and sound like you're right here in the studio with us. Load up a client on your PC or your smart device. Sign in through discord.lrn.fm, and man, you are going to sound great. And we're going to give you an example of that because we've got, I can't read your whole name, but it's subscribe to PewDiePie. Is that your name?
PewDiePie?
There we go.
He's like a big YouTube guy.
This is almost certainly not that person.
No. He plays, PewDiePie plays video games. He's got a huge following, so I suspect this is one of his fans.
Yep. Are you there?
Ruh-roh.
Going once,
Weren't
going
you just
twice?
talking to him?
Yeah, I was.
He's unmuted and everything?
He is unmuted. Hey, are you there? Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's dropping packets. That's probably the problem.
We're going to give...
Yeah, let's put him back on hold. We're going to have to... He's going to need to get a better internet connection before we can do that. Most of the time, Discord sounds like you're in the studio unless you are uploading. So if
it still sounds like you're a studio, it just sounds like you're a robot in the studio.
Yeah, unless you are... if you're uploading something, so let's say you've got torrents running or something like that, there's something else going on in your computer that's bogging down your internet connection, that's going to be a problem for us. But he didn't sound like that during when you checked on him.
No, when I checked on him, it was fine. So we're just gonna leave him there, and next time we get an opportunity, we'll go back and see how he's doing. And
so, do you want to hear about why you shouldn't buy Bitcoin?
Well, yes, we were going to do that, weren't we?
Yeah,
I can't wait because I just want to buy Bitcoin because I believe in a person's financial freedom. So please, Ian, tell me why I should not believe in my own financial freedom.
So this is not from me. This is from somebody named Mr. Money Mustache. So I don't know if that person is anonymous or if he changed his legal name. This is an article in The Guardian written by Mr. Money Mustache. So I don't know if that is somebody who changed their name legally or what. But apparently he's like one of these money advisor types. And it's been a while since we've had a good or bad, or however you want to look at it, hit piece against Bitcoin, so let's do it. Story from The Guardian. A collective insanity has sprouted around the new field of, and they put this in quotes, cryptocurrencies.
Nice.
Causing an irrational gold rush. I know you're tempted, but don't be a fool, he says. So, I mean, right there in the first paragraph, this is going to be a pretty hostile article, calling it a collective insanity, putting quotes around the term cryptocurrency.
And personally, I would say you'd be a fool not to put $100 into crypto just on general principle, because if it does explode, hey, maybe you end up with 100,000.
Right. Yeah, nobody here would ever say put everything you've ever saved into the same thing. That would be crazy.
As with any speculative investment,
right?
Why would you do that?
He says, I've been watching this Bitcoin situation for a few years, assuming it would just blow over. But a collective insanity has sprouted around the new field of cryptocurrencies, with quotes, causing an irrational gold rush worldwide. It has gotten to the point where a large number of financial stories and questions in my inbox ask whether or not to, quote, invest, unquote, in Bitcoin.
So he's already acknowledged that his judgment up to this point has been wrong because he kept thinking it was going to blow over, but it hasn't blown over. So his authority for the rest of his piece, his intellectual authority, is his consistent track record of wrongness.
Right, so I need to tear it down.
He says, let's start with the answer. No, you should not invest in Bitcoin.
Oh, my gosh.
The reason why is that it's not an investment, just as gold, tulip bulbs, beanie babies, and rare baseball cards are also not investments.
Unbelievable.
Let's go through the list there because he may or may not be right or wrong about some of those items. So gold. Is gold an investment?
Gold is money, and gold can also be used as a commodity. So the nice thing about gold is it's durable. It has a lot of the characteristics of good money. When you look at the definition of what money is, it's typically 6 things, and I'm not going to rattle them all off, but fungibility, being able to spend it easily, durability, not having it fall apart, being recognizable. There's these characteristics, and gold kind of hits all of them, which is why gold was used as money for several thousand years. It has history. When you look at things like Bitcoin, you also realize that a lot of those same similarities follow Bitcoin.
My answer would be gold is a static investment, and by that it's something that doesn't generate revenue by your having it the way, say, stock does, because stock is a running company that produces profit, hopefully.
Sure. Yeah.
But, the big question is, do you take both long and short positions in it? Are you moving your money around in it? If you're just storing value there, I wouldn't really call it an investment. I'd call it more of a hedge.
Well, and a store of value is something that has value. And
I would say that's true for all of those things and all commodities in general.
And to go to the other side, to the investment side, investments are inherently speculative.
Right.
Your idea is that I am going to put some of my money at risk buying into this in the hopes that I'm going to gain much more than I would have if I had just kept it in money.
Right, which is
why Bitcoin isn't an asset, I would say, in the sense that a commodity is an asset. Bitcoin is not a commodity. Let me put it that way. And the reason that I say that is Bitcoin is really, what are you buying when you're buying Bitcoin? You're buying the storage and the potential transmission of coin.
Right.
You're actually paying them for the transaction. So mostly you're paying them for the transmission of value. And, incidentally, you pay them for the storage of value. So I would call it a productive asset.
Well, keep in mind with Bitcoin, you're not paying anyone. You may pay fees along the way when you transact with it, but
those fees are what I'm talking about.
Right.
Those fees power the service.
They can. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but the term investment, as you're saying, Chris, suggests you're putting money out with the hopes that you're going to make more of it over some amount of time.
Right.
And so you're taking a risk. And so whether you're buying gold with that or whether you're buying Bitcoin with that or the other things he mentions, which we can get into, tulip bulbs, beanie babies, and rare baseball cards, some of them may be terrible. And what?
Dollars would
sure.
be the same category.
Yeah. Well, of course, most people are going to denominate their investments in dollars. So that's kind of like a different...
Oh, no, nowhere near most people.
You don't think?
Well, I mean, there's 350 billion America. Okay, most people in this country, sure.
Yeah. And a lot of people around the world are certainly more happy to have dollars in their pockets than some of the other fiat currencies.
Right.
That's definitely true. Because the others are all double fiat. They're fiat currencies that are based on dollars, which is also a fiat currency.
Yeah. And so if you're taking a risk with value in the hopes of getting more value in the future, that to me sounds like an investment. Now, I'm not Mr. Money, whatever it was, Mr. Money mustache here. I'm not a investment advisor or anything like that. But if whether it's crypto or whatever, if you're hoping to make money on it, then it is an investment. Now, it could be a really piss poor investment, like tulip bulbs or beanie babies or baseball cards.
I just gotta say, the tulip gets crashed, gets beat up too often.
Yeah.
That whole thing lasted less than 2 years.
And 10% of the income of Denmark or Holland still comes from tulips. So there.
Really? Last year, over 2 billion tulips were planted in the Netherlands.
That's the problem with those investments.
Tulip.
Tulips, beanie babies, rare baseball cards. You can just print more of them.
855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, Pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll-free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free, and we want to hear from you. 855-450-3733 is our number. We've been all over the board, as we always are. We talked bump stocks. We talked about the ascension of Mother Teresa.
We didn't talk about it.
Well, we listened
Sarah
to somebody talk about it. We had a conversation with someone who was talking about it.
That's true.
And now we've been talking about
That's crazy
Bitcoin.
talk, by the way.
And Mr. Money Mustache says that if you're looking at cryptocurrencies, you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You're cray-cray.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. But first, we are going to go back to the phones because we've got a caller who goes by the name Subscribe to PewDiePie. He's calling in with on our Discord network.
His name is Subscribe to PewDiePie?
That's his name, yeah.
I think that's
so the
it.
last words of the New Zealand shooter.
You're on Free Talk Live.
Could have been a coincidence.
I suspect.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey there.
Hello. Good.
Sounding
Hi.
better. You're sounding better now. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've been having this fear for a while that the Libertarian Party may be pandering too much to leftists.
Really?
I know that might, and here's why I think that. So first of all, I noticed on the day Trump announced his bump stock ban, or that he was going to do the bump stock ban.
Right.
The Libertarian Party, I checked a bunch of their social media platforms, and I couldn't find like any statement about that. But they did put out a statement about anti-discrimination laws, which, like, in favor, or I don't think they were in favor of them, but I think they misunderstood something Trump was doing to try and get rid of anti-discrimination laws as being discriminatory. Like, I think they said he was trying to redefine like gender or something, but I think he was trying to redefine anti-discrimination laws.
But
well, who isn't trying to redefine gender these days?
Right.
But they didn't talk anything about the bump stock ban.
Right.
And this goes back a little ways because in 2016, if you look at Gary Johnson,
that was the Libertarian Party's presidential candidate.
Yeah, Gary Johnson.
Just so you know, we Libertarians are opposed to the bump stock ban, if you were curious about our position on it.
And Gary Johnson, a lot of the positions he had, like, for example, like what was the anti-discrimination laws, he supported those, and then he also supported What do you mean false?
Actually, what he said is just bake the cake, as in don't be a jerk, just bake the cake. He didn't say anything about don't be a jerk, just pass a law to force people to bake the cake.
But
he
was
said,
also
just bake the cake. Don't be a jerk.
Hold on. Go ahead.
He was also asked, they said, oh, well, if there was a Jewish person, if a Nazi went into a Jewish bakery, would you say that and he wanted a Nazi cake, would you say that the Jewish baker would have to make that cake, or would you say they should be forced to make that cake? And Gary Johnson said yes.
I would say that was probably sarcasm, since Nazis are not and have never been a protected class under any anti-discrimination laws except the ones that they passed in Nazi Germany in the 30s. So unless he's seeking redress under those laws, he's not going to get it.
See, I would argue that under the Constitution, we're all supposed to be protected classes.
Well, we're supposed to be protected, but we're also supposed to be protected from laws that tell us that we have to associate when we don't want to.
I agree.
But then he also supported a carbon tax.
Well, okay, hold on a second. So let me see if I can understand this here. So
not actually true either.
Well,
this is a laundry list.
Okay.
Let me adjust this real quick. He said he was open to discussing a carbon tax, and a bunch of idiots took that as support. So
a libertarian should be against all taxes just in general, but
I would agree.
But what I'm hearing from you is you're saying you think the Libertarian Party is pandering to the left, but then talking about a candidate that was just a candidate, not so much the party itself.
No, but here's what I'm saying, because I think what Gary Johnson did, because a lot of his...
Who's a former Republican, by the way, in case our listeners weren't aware.
I think he was more of a bleeding heart libertarian. But here's the thing. Gary Johnson got the most votes out of the libertarian. Like, he got the most votes out of any libertarian that was ever put up for the presidency in history.
That's true.
So, there was also, I think at one point they put out the Libertarian Party. They've also put out other posts. Like, I think Nicholas Sarwark put out something saying
that's the chairman, I think, of the Libertarian Party.
Yeah.
You got to remember, people don't know who these people are. I mean, I barely know who they are.
Right.
And I'm pretty involved. Look, I've never been in the last decade plus of my life particularly happy with the viewpoints coming out of the Libertarian Party. I resigned publicly from it in 2008 before they chose Bob Barr, who was probably the worst candidate that they've had in my lifetime that I've been aware of. But
absolutely, I hated Barr.
I resigned publicly from the party. I had been a life member of the party, but it wasn't because I felt like they were too much to the left or too much to the right. I just felt like they weren't principled anymore. That they weren't talking about the principles of liberty, which to me was what got me excited about them back when the Harry Brown campaign, who was their candidate in 1996 and the year 2000. When he was doing things, because to me, he was a great communicator of those principled ideas, and the Libertarian Party couldn't hold that guy's jockstrap.
Let me take issue with that, because I have a very different view of what the Libertarian Party should be and what we should expect from it. What I want to see the Libertarian Party be is I want it to be libertarianism for dummies who are still plugged into the political system. So first off, our target audience is not anarchists. It's not libertarians who should be anarchists. Our audience is statists who should be minarchists. Okay? And the job of the Libertarian Party should be to create as many minarchists as possible.
A minarchist is a small government supporter.
A small government supporter. Now, what the role that I see for anarchists in this is that anarchists should, A, be supporting the Libertarian Party so that they get out the message on a minimal level that's making people minarchists, but they should also be mingling with the Libertarian Party, and they should be identifying those minarchists who are on the cusp of becoming anarchists, and they should help bring them along. This is the way that the labor unions were used by the socialists, and it worked very effectively. They used them as recruiting grounds, and they used them to preach the halfway message.
Absolutely. Subscribe to. Thank you for the call. It's a lot to think about, and you know, it's interesting that while libertarian ideas are very popular, they're popular across a lot of different political spectrums. You know, the idea that marijuana should now be legal. That's been a fundamental issue with libertarians for an awfully long time.
That's right, yeah.
Supported by both sides. When we talk about civil asset forfeiture, the government should not just be able to randomly seize things from you without charges or a trial or anything like that. This is something the libertarians have been fighting against for years, and now suddenly it's big news. Despite all that, you know, the country itself is so polarized, people are stuck in their rut, and I like the idea of helping pry them out of that rut. Give them a hand and teach them some things that they might find useful, that may benefit them.
And so you're more on Rich's side on this with what the Libertarian Party ought to be doing? Because I come from the perspective that they ought to stay true to their principle of non-aggression and be good at communicating what that means when it comes to every single issue. But they don't, so I don't support
I would like to see a fourth party called the Anarchist Party formed, which was designed to be a principled anarchist party. And I would not want the Libertarian Party to become that party because they've already got a job to do. But I would love to see
nobody
another
wants to be
party.
in an anarchist party.
Here's the thing, though. Here we are arguing about no, there can be 3 parties, but we couldn't have 4. We couldn't have 5. We couldn't have 10.
You can't even have 3.
The other thing that I've considered doing is seeding the Libertarian Party and trying to take over the pirate or get involved with the pirate party.
Now that's a better name for a party than the anarchist party.
I like the pirate party.
Nobody
name.
likes anarchists.
I like the idea of lots of political parties and force these people to get together and come up with some compromises, some things they actually agree on, because in the end of the day, people tend to agree with each other, and you're gonna get some people, some outliers. That's okay. 855-450-FREE. What do you think? More political parties or
Number
fewer?
one international best-selling author, Matthew David Hurtado's pain was simple. Lyme disease bankrupted him in 2009, watching bankers take everything from his family after building a 7-figure business from his couch. God called him to ministry to teach prosperity based on pain he could not tolerate in others' lives. IRS, creditors, car loans, debt. It's the Babylonian system, and you have to escape it before it's too late. Haven't you ever wanted to wake up from this nightmare? Matthew David's free quick study guide shows you what to do today to build lasting wealth in any economy. His discovery he made? It's all consciousness. Get Matthew's 7-figure quick study guide for clarity, certainty, and a proven strategy to build wealth once and for all. Visit escaperightnow.com. Do it now. It's free. escaperightnow.com for a prosperous future ahead with peace of mind. escaperightnow.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,304. Silver at $15.18. And Bitcoin is trading around $4,009. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in a victory for consumers and yet another massive blow to Monsanto, a federal jury Wednesday found the company liable for causing a California man's cancer and ordered it to pay $80 million in damages. The jury resoundingly held Monsanto accountable for its 40 years of corporate malfeasance and sent a message to Monsanto that it needs to change the way it does business. Those words come from the legal team of 70-year-old Edwin Hardiman, who was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2015 after using Roundup on his property for more than 2 decades. The anti-media reports that earlier this month, the San Francisco jury ruled that Roundup was a substantial factor in the development of Hardiman's cancer. In its Wednesday ruling, the jury said Monsanto, which was acquired by German pharmaceutical giant Bayer last year, should be held liable for failing to give sufficient warnings about Roundup's cancer risks. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And guess what, Liberty Beat listeners? Right now, you can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Online at snls.news and libertybeat.news. I'm Mick Murrow reporting. Your news now continues. Documents reveal the Saudi-backed government in Yemen granted citizenship to Charlie Hebdo attacker Peter Sharif. Sharif is just one of the dozens of foreigners, mostly former al-Qaeda and ISIS fighters, who have been granted Yemeni citizenship by the coalition-allied Yemeni Passport Authority, under pressure from high-ranking leaders in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. That word comes in a report from Mint Press News, with that outlet able to obtain copies of dozens of confidential documents relating to foreigners of different nationalities who have been granted Yemeni citizenship, including Europeans like the 36-year-old French citizen Sharif, who is accused of terrorism, as well as other extremists from the ranks of al-Qaeda and ISIS. According to one of the documents, Sharif, who is accused of helping to organize the terrorist shooting at the Paris headquarters of Charlie Hebdo magazine in 2015, received an official Yemeni identity under the name of Mohammed Ba Mazma from the Riyadh-allied Yemeni government in Aden. The process was facilitated by coalition security authorities. According to Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue, there may be as many as 1 million calves lost in Nebraska due to the catastrophic flooding that has hit the state. Activist Post reports that it's not a rumor, it's not an exaggeration, and it's not based on any sort of speculation. The figure comes directly from the top agriculture official in the entire country, and it means that the economic toll from the recent floods is far greater than most had anticipated. As the months move forward, consumers will start to notice food prices steadily increase. Millions of bushels of wheat, corn, and soybeans have been destroyed by the flooding so far, and thousands of farmers will not be able to plant crops at all this year. And the livestock losses that we have already experienced will be felt for many years to come. The price of beef, which is currently low, is expected to soar. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting with the latest edition of the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A new study finds most high school graduates are woefully unprepared for high school, and a bag of flour has a slave auction on its front. This is the Onion Week in Review. This week, Secretary of Labor Thomas Perez unveiled plans to boost the nation's struggling job market by giving every unemployed American a self-serve yogurt shop, saying that the frozen yogurt business model is robust, profitable, and that they've pretty much exhausted other options. Perez explained that owners will be responsible for stocking their own topping bars with items such as Oreo crumbles, minced kiwi, cashews, and gummy bears. Estimates indicate the country will need to increase daily consumption of frozen yogurt by approximately 2.3 gallons per person in order for the new stores to remain solvent. And in this week's local news, something is apparently going on between a mom and her friend. In other news, Taco Bell warns its employees against ever exposing their skin to its food. A sad man tears 2 bananas off of a larger bunch, and a new report finds everything you've ever wanted has been right in front of you all along.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're in hour number 3. Time flies.
I'll tell you, it feels like I've been here for like half an hour or 45 minutes. I'm still raring to go. You want to do an after show tonight?
Oh, we can't do that tonight because Vincent will be coming in to do a special episode of his show, Questioning Authority, which appears on LRN.FM.
Well, maybe I'll crash his show, and if he tells me not to, I'll say you're an authority. I'm going to question you.
I suspect he would welcome you, and his show is uncensored because he's not doing it for broadcast purposes. So.
Nice.
Oh,
so it's almost as good as an after show, basically.
But if you'd like a live episodes, if you'd like to see some of these guys live doing their thing, you might consider going to ForkFest 2019. Did you miss ForkFest 2018?
Are there people who want to see us live? I always hear from the people who want to see us dead.
Right. Start planning now to attend ForkFest 2019. Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians next summer from June 13th through June 18th for ForkFest 2019 at Rogers Campgrounds in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and you're invited to come and create whatever experience you'd like others to have. ForkFest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. So it's up to you to create what happens, or you can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers. For more information and to connect to other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum, visit ForkFest, that's ForkFest.party. That's ForkFest.party. And
unofficial slogan, fork them if they can't take a joke.
And it's interesting to see in a decentralized way, people are starting to promote ForkFest. Yeah. So I saw some other sites that may or may not.
All right.
I think I saw some sponsorship of another major.
You talking about the Porcupine Freedom Festival?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's right. The ForkFest is sponsoring the Porcupine Freedom Festival, the very festival from which it forked in the first place.
Oh,
I love this.
Now, is ForkFest's full name the Porcupine
No.
Freedom Festival?
There is no full name for ForkFest because that's just one of its many names. As you've said, it should be called Band Camp.
It's been Somalia.
Yeah, I like Band Camp. That way we can say this one year at Band Camp.
It's been Somalia Fest. I like the idea with the advertising, the sponsorship of PorkFest, calling it Sporkfest. I thought that was rather clever too. So.
Oh, that would be cute. You see, I think there should be another ForkFest that follows PorkFest. And the reason that I think that's a good idea is because there would be I think there's a lot of people who, when the end of PorkFest comes, they don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love to show those people the beauty of decentralization without having to count on them to remember to come back next year. So maybe that could be Sporkfest.
Interesting.
You could do that.
But right now, we are going to go to the phones because we are a call-in show. We're going to go to Florida where we have Harold, who's listening on TuneIn. Harold, you are on. I'm stalling as I hit the right button. You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hi there. I wanted to talk about the Holocaust.
Oh, boy.
This sounds suspiciously like... Hold on. I want to get the full effect of what sounds like a crank call. Go ahead, Harold.
It may sound like whatever to you, but I'm an old man, so screw you. I want to talk about the Holocaust. The Holocaust real quick there. You're laughing. All right, listen. I don't think it happened quite the way that they said that it happened there.
I can barely hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be louder. I don't think that it happened the way that they said it happened. Gas chambers don't have wooden doors, and all the census that was taken in Europe before the so-called Holocaust didn't show even that many Jews in the continent. Can you hear me, gentlemen?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, but nobody really wants to listen to you because
who cares?
Ridiculous conspiracy theory. One of the most ridiculous, right up there with flat Earth, I would say. This conspiracy theory.
Yeah, this one's
Why do
way
you
up
say
there.
that, Freeman? Why do you say that?
Because
Freeman?
it disregards the experience of the people who were put into those camps and died there, and those who survived as well.
I'm a Korean veteran myself there, so let me tell you
It's
something.
as stupid as the viewpoint that there was no school that was attacked in Connecticut either, that it was all total hoax. That's also a ridiculous conspiracy theory.
Is it as stupid
Well,
as
there's
this fake
pictures
accent?
of it, and there's videos,
Perhaps.
right? So here's the thing. I think that Jews did die, and that was a tragedy. I just don't think that as many of them died. I think a few 100,000 at the most died based off census information.
Okay.
That's still horrifying.
Let's say you're right, bro. Who cares? What does it matter? This was decades and decades ago. What does it matter? Are we all competing in a victimhood Olympics of which I was unaware? Are we supposed to be racking up points for how many things have been done to our race and our gender and our ethnic group and our religious group? I mean, I'm like half Armenian, so maybe 1 million people were killed in the Armenian genocide. Maybe 500,000 people were killed. Not to quote Hillary Clinton, but what does it matter at this point?
Harold, thanks for the call. But I think everybody sort of pales when you compare it to socialism. That's the issue.
Yeah, 100 million.
Right.
100 million minimum died for socialism.
How about all governments?
Right.
I mean, whether they're socialist or not.
Democide.
Now you're talking about hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah. More people have...
Just the 21st or 20th century.
Yeah. 250,000 people were killed by their own government during the 21st century.
No. You said 250,000. You mean 250 million, I think.
And I think
yes, you're right. 250,000,000.
Century.
And in the 20th century.
Yeah.
Wow, I've got off by one errors everywhere. I'm going to have to debug myself.
That's all right. But that's the issue. Would you be surprised to find out that more people have died at the hands of their own government than have been killed in wars? That's a fact.
Yeah.
In the 20th century.
And in terms of murder, just random murder by criminals pales in comparison.
That's round.
Tiny number compared to the number who are killed by their government.
That's rounding errors.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Yeah.
And we're going to stay on the phones and go to Dave in New Mexico. David wants to talk about civil asset forfeiture. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, Chris, I just heard you a few minutes ago say that the government should not be able to take things from people without charges or a trial or something like that. Is that a fairly accurate quote?
Fairly.
Yep.
Yeah, I probably got a little more fired up at a couple different parts of that, but yeah, if you're going to come up with laws that says you can take things from people, then at least follow your own rules, and that includes due process. So go ahead.
Right. Okay. So on that note, then things. I had a couple of very, very, very realistic, lifelike sculptures of children. They were priceless. They were worth millions. They're just absolutely priceless. And my government came along and some women at a nonprofit organization called a judge and made insinuations, not even allegations, but some insinuations about me. And the judge sent people to take my priceless sculptures. And that was 11 and a half years ago, and I've never seen them again.
His kids.
And, pardon?
I said, Chris looked confused. I was letting him know that you're talking about your children. Which is kind of a strange way to talk about your children, but that's what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get the sculptures thing.
Yeah, that's okay. We're going to hold you over, Dave, and we'll talk to you in just a moment or two. You can call in, too, and take part in the conversation. 855-450-FREE. What do you think about the government taking your stuff? This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
My name is Angel Rach. I'm a mother of 2 teenage children, and I fought all the way to the Supreme Court for the right to use the medicine that saved my life. I've been permanently disabled for 10 years, with an inoperable brain tumor, wasting syndrome, and several other serious conditions. For 4 years, I was in a wheelchair, in so much pain I couldn't even hug my kids. The hardest part was looking in their eyes and seeing how much they were suffering because of my medical condition. The medicine that gave me my life back and gave my kids their mom back was cannabis, also known as medical marijuana. With medical marijuana, I can walk, maintain my weight, and I can be a mom. Without it, my doctors believe that I would die. To learn more about medical marijuana, contact Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or on the web at mpp.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. It's bitcoin.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've, again, been all over the map, talking all kinds of subjects. And, again, Rich, I always enjoy Thursday nights on Free Talk Live because it gets you in here with me, and I love hearing your point of view. Sometimes it makes sense to me.
It rocks. It's fun.
It does.
You know, and for the other times, once you reach the level of enlightenment to understand it, you will see.
I will see. Will I become like Mother Teresa? That's what I want to know.
No, you'll become like me.
Oh,
that's even better.
I will achieve a level of richness.
I'll make a priest out of you.
Will you? Okay.
Yeah. I will absolutely make a priest out of you. Crazy libertarian anarchist deist priest.
I'm not sure if I'm cut out that. We're going to go back to David in New Mexico. He was talking about civil asset forfeiture through the use of metaphors. David, you're back on Free Talk Live.
I think he was just talking about his kids getting stolen from him through the use of a metaphor.
I think so, too.
A David, metaphor is like a simile.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't want to talk about kids because nobody cares about kids. But if you have something that's worth money, then people are interested. So I'd rather talk about these sculptures that I had. And so anyway, these sculptures they were priceless. And like I said, somebody made an insinuation, not even an allegation, but a insinuation. And they didn't call the cops. They directly called the judge's office. Somehow they knew a judge, and they called a judge, and the judge said, "Send me a letter of what you know, and also call the cops." And so they wrote the letter, and they called the cops. But when the cops came and took their report, the cops said, "Hey, lady, there's nothing here that has broken any law." And so the cops went away. But the judge on what these ladies said, without the ladies ever coming to court or even signing the letter, the judge took my sculptures, and that was a decade ago, and I've never seen those sculptures again. we're just still fighting about those sculptures in court for a decade, and I've never seen them again.
Yeah.
And so
make sure you pay your taxes so you can keep paying the salaries of all those people.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, and I'm sorry I did not initially understand your literary device.
No apology necessary. But what? So that's a report of what actually goes on in this country. The way that the laws or lack of laws and the power system. The people with guns, law enforcement, nonprofits, judges. That's a report of what actually happened. So that follows your model, Chris.
Yeah.
Never any charges and never any trial. Mm-hmm. But my property is still being held for over a decade. And so, that's a realistic report. It can be verified. And how does that conflict with the existing laws that we have in this country, or what we should have?
Right.
If you could please comment on that.
Well, I'm just going to say that, David, obviously these things don't really happen in real life until I talk to somebody like you and I find out that, yes, absolutely these things do. And then, I don't know, maybe I pick up the newspaper today and see that Arizona officers storm a house with guns drawn because a toddler had a fever.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this was an Arizona home, ordered 3 children into custody of the Department of Children's Safety because the parents had refused to take their son with a fever to the hospital.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So this kind of...
Somebody snitch him out?
I heard that differently, or was this a different story? What I heard is that she'd gone to the hospital. She had been...
Gone to a clinic.
My understanding is she had gone, maybe it was to a clinic, but they had basically said, well, everything seems fine, but we want the doctor to have one last chat with you before you leave, and she didn't wait for the doctor.
This may be a little bit different.
It may be a different story. This may have happened twice. It seems like checking out AMA is one of the new crimes in America. That's against medical advice.
Right. So basically, in this case, the couple brought their feverish 2-year-old to a clinic in late February. We're told that he had a temperature of 105. The doctor ordered the parents to bring the boy, who had not been vaccinated, according to Arizona Central, to a hospital. But by the time they got home, his fever had decreased to 102, and they decided not to take the kid to the hospital.
Right.
And anything under 103 really doesn't require hospitalization.
When the doctor found out the child had never made it to the hospital, the doctor called Department of Child Services, who contacted the Chandler Police Department. Police arrived. The parents wouldn't let them into the house.
Nice.
They said, Brooks, you have to come out of your house right now. We have to check on them. And I said, he's doing fine. His temperature is 100 degrees. He's safe. He's asleep. Could you please leave us alone? Bryce being the father. At this point, officers who said they had a warrant from DCS broke down the door of the home.
God.
Surveillance video showed. Little pro tip there: if you have police in or around your person, it's good to be recording them.
Always record. It might save you from a beating. It might save you from a really unpleasant experience.
So wait, there was a recording here or no?
Yes.
There is,
Quote,
okay.
They saw me and they asked me to put my hands up. And this was basically it. They handcuffed
just
the
asking,
father.
buddy.
They handcuff them. They treated them like criminals. They knocked down their door.
Did they snatch the baby too?
Yes.
While they were at it?
Yeah, and of course in front of the kids. That's the kind of thing that happens. Yeah. And now these parents have no idea.
Were they charged?
When and if.
Were they charged with like neglect or something like that?
Well, the father was told by a doctor. So Ian, that's pretty clear. If someone in authority tells you to do something, all the power of the law must be behind that order. I'm being facetious.
That's crazy.
Folks.
I mean, they're basically treating a doctor like a judge, essentially.
That's been going on. That's been going on. That's what I've been saying. The universities and the degrees that they issue, those degrees used to get a license from the government. What you're doing and then now we're back to that university scandal thing. When you go into these various institutions, especially the ones with a track record like Harvard, whatever, then what you're doing is you're joining the club. That is the mob. That is that thing of ours, La Cosa Nostra. You see the whole pattern? That's what that is.
Thank you, David, for the call here tonight. This is one of the craziest
I'll tell you
stories.
what, that can grow in some very dangerous ways, especially when it's combined with socialized medicine.
Sure.
You know, I know one guy who was he was a computer programmer, and his wife had him committed to a mental hospital because she was about to divorce him. And he managed to escape from the mental hospital by canceling his insurance. So all of a sudden they declared him cured and cut him loose. And so you know, with socialized medicine, you can't do that. You can't turn it off. And if they won't let you refuse treatment, what you gonna do?
Well, apparently send men with guns to your house. I mean, this sounds like a socialist system. This sounds like a story you would hear in, say, the UK, where they do have government-run health care.
State Representative Kelly Townsend, who is working on legislation requiring DCS to get a search warrant before removing a child from a home. When did we become...
How about not a search warrant? How about an arrest warrant? Because that's what's really needed.
They said they had
They're
a
making
warrant.
an arrest.
It's habeas corpus at that point. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. Got some time left if you'd like to join in our conversation. That's, again, 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733. Or hit us up on Discord. With Discord, you can sound like you're right here in the studio with us. And to do that, you're going to go to discord.lrn.fm. You're going to make sure you've got a Discord client loaded. You've got good internet. And you've got a microphone, so you can talk to us and we can talk to you. That's discord.lrn.fm. And we were talking about Bitcoin, Ian.
That's right. Finally, another Hitpiece article about why you shouldn't, according to someone calling themselves Mr. Money Mustache.
Should we write an article on why you shouldn't take advice from a man named Mr. Money Mustache?
Evidently, he's got quite a following.
Apparently, he does, but and he does have a real name, but I guess he goes by that. So he's saying don't invest, he says, in Bitcoin. He claims it's not an investment. In this article for The Guardian, he claims gold, tulip bulbs, beanie babies, and rare baseball cards are also not investments. Now, just because he says that, I don't think makes it true. We were discussing earlier, Rich, you came up with sort of like a qualified term for what you considered gold to be, but you still said it was an investment, right? Because
I mean, to some extent
like
it is,
static?
and especially Bitcoin is a very different matter from gold. Okay, gold has huge market penetration.
Mm-hmm.
Gold has been around for millennia.
Right.
Bitcoin has almost no market penetration, which means, you know, it has like 3%. Well, I guess more than that know about it now.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people know about it.
50%.
They don't know what it is.
Market penetration.
They couldn't define it, but they know it exists.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Libertarian Party. People know it exists, but they don't know anything about it, basically.
Yeah. Which doesn't stop them necessarily from having strong opinions.
That's true. Tulip bulbs, beanie babies, rare baseball cards, he says are not investments. I got to disagree. Anything that you get into with your money that you risk with the hope that you're going to make a return on that in the future is an investment. It may be a poor investment because anybody can plant more tulips and you can, make more baseball cards and, beanie babies and such. There's not a limited supply of those things.
No,
basically.
But that's one of those.
But there is a limited supply of Bitcoin.
Right,
correct.
And that's where I was going to go. One of the qualities of good money, of sound money, is scarcity.
Right.
That you don't want there to be so many that they become worthless.
That's what's happening in Venezuela right now with the Venezuelan bolivar. So, did you have something there?
Oh, no. I was just going to say we're going to go to the phones and talk to Guy in Florida who wants to talk about the bump stock ban. Guy, you're on Free Talk Live. Hold on. Sorry about that.
Bump stock. That should be a free concert for
Guy,
gun lovers.
You're on Free Talk Live. Guy, are you there?
Guy going once.
Going once.
Guy going twice.
Going twice. I'm going to put him on hold for right now. We'll see if he pops back in there.
So, should we continue here?
Yeah.
So again, he's saying those things aren't investments. He says these are all things people had bought in the past, driving them to absurd prices, not because they did anything useful or produced money or had social value, but solely because people thought they could sell them on to someone else for more money in the future. When you make this kind of purchase, which you should never do, you are speculating. This is not a useful activity. You are playing a psychological win-lose battle against other humans with money as the sole objective. Even if you win money through dumb luck, you've lost time and energy, which means you have lost, he says.
Well, that depends on how much do you value your time and what are you going to spend your time on. If you make enough money from Bitcoin that you can quit your job, then you've saved a lot of time.
He doesn't discuss time preference either. So
no, I don't think this guy's no economist, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so either, but there are short time preferences and there are long time preferences, and in any sort of money, if
he would have covered that in school, but he was in a hurry.
Exactly. But if you were talking about investing in gold, the advantage of money is that they don't really change a lot. That's why the change in value. That's why they become good units of accounting. And we expect them to be relatively stable. Now, Bitcoin has certainly had its highs and lows, but if you look at it over the last year or two, you see a pretty flat line. It doesn't do much. That's a good thing for most cryptocurrencies or currencies, period. You shouldn't see a ton of volatility.
Yeah, so I want to add to this because we've heard this objection before. It's like, oh, this is just a pyramid scheme or whatever, and of course it's not a pyramid scheme, and people aren't buying it just on the hopes that other people are going to get in and lose money, later on down the line. To me, the reason why Bitcoin is attractive as something to purchase, because you can just go out there and pour money into all kinds of things in the hopes that you'll make money on it without any kind of research. But Bitcoin is a way to transact across the world in an instant, basically, with anybody who has an internet connection anywhere on the planet. I mean, this is an incredibly valuable proposition without having the government or the banks in the middle. So you're cutting out the middlemen of money. This isn't just some random thing that, let's invest in tulip bulbs, let's invest in baseball cards. No, there's a very specific reason why Bitcoin caught on. Yes. It wasn't just some sort of random thing that everybody just decided to dump into. It's valuable because it has an incredibly large payment network spread across the globe that is decentralized and cannot be taken down by the so-called authorities. There is value there. The only question is how much.
The other value that it has, and we know that governments can't just shut it down, but the other thing is hackers can't just shut it down. And I think that gets
hackers
lost.
Can just shut it down. No. They haven't just shut it down, and we like to think that their attempts will fail.
What I'm saying is you've got 10 years of history in the Bitcoin network where all these attempts to hack it have come to no avail. And if you're in the wild in software for 10 years and you haven't had a significant, serious breach, there are no banks that can claim that. You know what I mean? If we're talking about safe places to keep your money.
That is definitely true. Now, I agree with everything you guys have been saying, so long as you make one alteration, which is remove the word Bitcoin and replace it with cryptocurrency.
Sure.
I think Bitcoin right now is a terrible investment, and the reason that I think that is because it's inflated due to the publicity. It's inflated against the other cryptocurrencies, and I expect it to fall in value as people's will to invest shifts into other cryptocurrencies, because the purpose of investing in cryptocurrencies is by pumping liquidity into a cryptocurrency, you increase the budget which is available to develop that cryptocurrency.
On this, Rich and I will disagree.
He does get into, by the way, coming up, his definition of what investing is. So we'll find that out.
Interesting. We're going to go to Stony in Portland. Stony, you are on Free Talk Live. Stony, are you there?
I don't know what's going on.
Stony, can you hear me?
Stony?
Maybe the board op's having trouble there. I don't know.
That might be. We're going to put Stony on hold. We're going to go back and see if Guy...
let's just wait until the board op says he's back. We don't need to waste any more time taking that.
Yeah, but on that, I'll disagree, Rich. Bitcoin has its own characteristics. Bitcoin Cash has its own characteristics. All of them have their own characteristics. I just think Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin, is a little different in that it has a much larger network. It is going to be much more secure because it has that many more people protecting it than other networks that are out there. And it's got a track record.
I don't know. I think Bitcoin, I don't argue that mathematically having more people makes it more secure from one type of attack, which is a 51% attack. But Bitcoin has no security in terms of privacy. It's an open ledger. Yep. Everybody can see where your money is going. That alone says to me, for any privacy transactions, I'm not going to use it.
And that is a big difference. There is a big difference between privacy and security.
Yeah. Like everything I do is illegal.
Everything? Come on, Rich.
Pretty much.
You must
except being on the air, because that's like First Amendment protected.
They're still letting us do that. 855-450-FREE.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Longevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now. But the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Longevity for over 17 years, since before it was Longevity. And I've got to say, the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Longevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never, not once, been late in 17 years. Longevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Longevity.
Does this ever happen to you? Moments after you're introduced to someone, you forget his or her name. It's a common faux pas you'll want to avoid, especially if you're a job seeker. And even if you're not, here's a tip. As you are being introduced, and while you're still shaking hands, smiling, and making eye contact, say the person's name aloud. Not only does that make a deposit in your memory bank, it acknowledges the other person. And that is more than a nuance, as is maintaining eye contact. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. We're in the final moments of tonight's show, but if you move quick, you might be able to get on the air and let us know what's on your mind. Again, that's 855, 450 free. And Rich and I think we were on the verge of getting into a little bit deeper debate on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and stuff like that. And we've been reading an article from Mr. Money Mustache who says, absolutely, it's just not a good idea. You can't do this.
He says, don't invest in Bitcoin is what he says. In fact, he's claiming it's not even an investment. He defines investing as buying an asset that actually creates products, services, or cash flow, such as a profitable business or a rentable piece of real estate for an extended period of time. An investment is something that has intrinsic value, he claims. That is, it would be worth owning from a financial perspective, even if you could never sell it, which is a strange thing to say.
That's really strange. We're going to go back to the phones and try to talk to Stoney in Portland. Stoney, you're on Free Talk Live. Stoney, are you there? Man,
I think there's some sort of problem with
I'm chatting
the phones
with
there.
The board op. There was some screwy stuff going on. We're going to try Guy again in Florida. Guy, you're on Free Talk Live.
This is Guy. How can?
Yes, we can hear you.
We have you now.
Yep, you're good.
Good. Yes, Republican, was a Trump supporter, but after this bump stock ban, this betrayal of his base, not a supporter anymore.
So does that mean you're going to be voting for Bill Weld in the Republican primary?
This means I'm open to whoever is going to be on the ticket.
Okay.
I'm open to look at anybody and make an intelligent decision based on who else is on there.
Has anybody else thrown in the Republican race besides Weld and Trump?
What about Rand Paul?
Has he?
Not I'm aware of that's announced in qualifying in Florida, but
see, I would support Rand Paul. I would support
upset with this.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anybody that believes in the Constitution should be upset with this, or anybody who believes in the rule of law, because what this did was by rewriting this definition, they have gone back and changed the definition of a law that was put through Congress, voted on, and adopted by Congress in 1934.
Right.
The National Firearms Act of 1934 defined what a machine gun was.
You're correct.
This rule change has gone back and modified a law that has been standing since 1934. If this is allowed to stand, that means that any administrative agency in the government can go back and rewrite any definition or any portion of any law that Congress passes at their whim and change the meaning any law that they wish at any time in the future.
I got news for you. The idea of...
And you want to see your regulations change or anything else.
I don't want to see any regulations exist.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, look, the fact is there's no rule of law, and there never has been. It's always been the arbitrary and capricious rule of men and women over other men and women. That's all it ever is.
I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm just amazed that anybody is surprised by this. This is a conversation televised between Trump and Pence right after the shooting in Las Vegas. Trump interrupted, quote, "Or Mike, take the firearms first and then go to court." Because that's another system. Because a lot of times, by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early. So this is your
like
president.
he does this all the time.
But I guess my question is for you, Guy, because you have been a supporter of the president. I mean, did these not throw up some red flags? I mean,
these threw up a lot of red flags.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's why I said he's lost me as a supporter. That's why the NRA has lost me as a big supporter, because Chris Cox and Wayne LaPerriere were openly in support of this.
Right.
Neither one of them or the organization ever made any attempt to stop this.
Shameful.
Gun Owners of America went out of their way. They've got suits right now in courts in several jurisdictions in the country trying to stop this from moving forward.
They're a much
and
more
challenging
principled
it.
organization. I remember people. The NRA supports the status quo, from what I understand. They support enforcing all the terrible unconstitutional gun laws, whereas Gun Owners of America seems to be more in favor of gun freedoms.
what I think the NRA focuses more on contributions than they do on anything
You
else.
mean contributions to their own coffers?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's never been Larry Pratt. I mean, Larry Pratt wants to,
and he's from Gun Owners of America.
Gun Owners of America wants to keep the money flowing in so they can do what they do. But again, it's a completely different organization.
He's a true believer.
I think so, and his son is too. Final thoughts, Guy?
Well, Larry Pratt's actions say that he's a true believer. Wayne LaPerriere, Chris Cox, and the misguided people at the NRA say that they are true believers in cash.
There you go. Good call.
And that's the big difference.
Hey,
and people need to wake up as to what the total implications of this are. It's not just about weapons. It's about rewriting any law that they decide to rewrite administratively rather than going through Congress.
I agree.
And whether you like Congress's ability to make laws or not, that's our system. And I don't want that put in the hands of unelected bureaucrats sitting in an office,
right?
Making rule changes to laws that have been debated in the open public forum.
I hear you, Guy.
I agree with you there.
Thanks for your call. I think that's a good point, and people do get caught up in the minutia. Well, we're just talking about bump stocks. We're just talking about gun control. That's only part of the rights that are allegedly protected in the Constitution. It's the slippery slope. It's always going to be the slippery slope. If they can do this, if they can change a law that's been on the books since 1934, they can change any law.
And not just that, but if they can change the Second Amendment, which has been on the books since 1789.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe a couple years later for the Bill of Rights. I can't remember exactly. I think 1789 was the ratification of the Constitution itself.
Yeah.
I don't know when the Bill of Rights was ratified. But, when they said shall not be infringed, they meant it. That means not infringed at all.
1791.
1791.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the Supreme Court disagreed with that interpretation.
Well, the Supreme Court is a bunch of power-obsessed transvestites stomping around, considering themselves the ultimate authority when the Constitution never says that they are the ultimate authority.
That was decided very early on in our nation's history. Rich, come on.
By the court. Decided that they were the ultimate authority. When you decide you're the ultimate authority, that's called being a usurper.
Which is what happened in Marbury v. Madison. That's exactly what they came to the conclusion. Who decides whether laws are unconstitutional?
George Bush is the decider.
I guess they said, no, we do. And that's where the powers resided ever since. It's insanity. And the Second Amendment, as much as I love the idea of it, it doesn't do anything. It didn't give me any rights. It's
what
not
it does
anything.
Is it galvanizes people. It's a PR tool.
Yeah, it's a good one. Can be.
It's every time they violate it is very bad PR for them.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
If there was,
Chris, if there was a New Zealand-style gun ban imposed in the United States, and I am understanding they're doing, if let's just say even if they ban the sale, is that the time when it time to, or should we be up in arms at that point?
This is the American people are the frog boiling in the slowly warming pot of water. This is what we do. We, as a nation, we let just a little bit of our rights go every day, and then they realize that what happened? How did we get to this point? They act all shocked. It's gonna be the same way with guns. Today, it's bump stocks. It's one of those things that nobody ever really cared about. But that's why we have to be loud. We have to be vocal. We have to point out the insanity of letting go of tiny pieces, because it all snowballs and it all ends up being a big deal. People are going to realize that it's going to be too late.
Well, you did have some sheriffs in New Mexico. Remember, Sarah was complaining about the sheriffs in New Mexico who were refusing to enforce certain gun restrictions that had been imposed by the legislature.
Pretty
there.
much
So
any.
if you actually had sheriffs who give a damn about, freedoms, they could step in the way of bad legislature.
It certainly could,
And
but
they could step in the way of ATF agents.
That would be nice.
And
ICE.
And let the ATF agents
And
step
DEA.
in.
Yeah.
Keep them all out of Cheshire County, please. Keep the whole federal government out. See you tomorrow night.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
No, I can understand the time cue, but what I know is wiser than anything else. Like God created one day, I've created 4 simultaneous days in one rotation of Earth.
At what point did you become the wisest human, Gene Ray?
Well, I've learned everything. When you know everything, there's nothing to know.
Okay, well, now, you said you're getting ready to write a book on it. When can we expect to see it?
No, I don't have a publisher yet. A lot of morning touch it, and so...
you touch it in the morning?
Well, sometimes, not much.
Yeah. How old are you, Dr. Gene Ray?
I'm 78. Well, I told this black lady down in St. Pete, I said, when you die, you're going to come back as a white person. And I said, I'm going to come back as a black person. I'm going to hate you honkies.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading